My last topic for the day is budget forecasting. Hello, everybody's fine with me? As a business person, you must learn to also budget. So this time, I'm dealing with a topic that deals with you internally. The first one about permits and licenses deals with the external bodies. Insurance about insurance. But now I'm dealing with a topic that deals with you as a business individual. You must learn to have a budget. Even as an individual, learn to live your life, learn to design your life in a certain way. So you must learn to build budgets for your business. And a budget is simply a plan. It is simply writing down what you intend to do on paper. So one of the things I recommend for all of you here every year is that use your December to plan for a new year. In December, call all your employees. Look at what you have done in the year and ask yourself, how do we want the new year to be like? And document it. So when an accountant says a budget, it's simply a plan. It is simply a plan as to what we plan in terms of how our revenue will look like and how our expenditure would look like. Right? And so I'll pick a few examples so we see how it goes. So this session is something I need to do to allow you to say you can do it yourself. And most of you are already doing it. You do it in a mental way. But now find a way to now do it with some documentary evidence. You can even we break down our plans even on a monthly basis. So in the month of let's say March 2018, you must have a plan. Where do you expect your revenue to come from? What expenditures are there for you to settle? And how are you going to raise the money? That's all it means to think of a budgeting. So if in March you have done let's say this, you be careful how you spend the money. Because if you know you are getting 10,000 and the people you are going to pay are A, B, C, D, and by the time you pay them, there's no any money left. You can't spend the evening drinking beer or pito. Because the moment you buy one bottle of beer, you cannot pay a particular supplier. You are getting 10,000 and you've already shared the money. So why are you getting the 1 Ghana cedi to buy a glass of pito? So it allows you to live a certain organized, let's say, life. You know where your money is coming from and how you are going to spend the money. How do you now cough 1,000 to pay a school fees of let's say, a niece now? You have to tell the person, I will pay, but give me, let's say, April. Because then I will include you in that budget. So when you don't have a budget, then anyhow that comes, you go through a stress of looking for the money to pay. Because your life is not organized. Your life is, I have some, let's say, money. Anything that comes, any need, the moment it comes, I'll pay. And so you live a cycle of a worry. There's always pressure on you. There's always some demand. You are always under pressure. So you must have a certain lifestyle. Even when you have to help, let's say people, it can be budgeted for. And so you tell yourself, I am going to do donations and gifts up to a maximum of 1,000 a month. So we are not saying that when you do budget, you are a wicked man. So you tell yourself, I'm getting 10,000 a month. I must pay supplier A. I must pay the salaries of my employees. I must pay rent, electricity, X amount. The balance left is 1,000. So the 1,000 is what I want to use as, let's say, a gift because I'm a Muslim and I must learn to do good. So I budget for 1,000. So if you're at home and somebody come and say, please assist me to eat, Yes, I give you 100 Ghana, go and eat. The second person come. The third person who is coming, once I've touched my 1,000, the best I can do for you, oh, I have some rice there, I can give it to you. Or for this one, 100 CD, I can give it to you in April. When my next 1,000, my next 1,000 is available. So you are not forced to use business, resources. So you are still a good person. You are still nice, but now you are nice and good with a purpose that help people to the extent to which I have planned for. It will take something extraordinary to help them above it. In that case, I will only help somebody above the 1,000 when I think the need is so important. For this particular exceptional one, I need to go beyond 1,000. Because if I don't help, it's life and death. Or this is a person I can help and to change his life for let's say ever. And so I am forced to even go into it. And even when I go into it, I will peg it against my April 1. So if I do 1,005 in March, then in April, I'll peg my gift at what? 500. So again, your life is still in an organized way. And this is what we're referring to as a budget. And it has to be done. When you also have a budget, what you are doing is that you are putting your business into an arena where you can assess performance. So if I ask you right now, how well have you done up to the first quarter of the year? Your answer cannot be convincing compared to when if I answer and say, oh, in December, I planned that by March, my sales should be 100,000. So if by March I have done 150,000, then I have done 150% of my target. It means that I am business on course. If in December I plan that by March I'll do 100,000, and by March I've done only 80,000, means I've done only 80% of my plan. So my shortfall is what? 20%. Why haven't I done that amount? Then you can have a discussion with your sales team as to which client have not bought from you, which business deal has not gone through. How come the whole first quarter of the year you have not done any business? Do we have to do an advert? Do we have to go out to shops and go and talk to them about the business? So budgeting has a way of influencing you to achieve performance and give you a tool in order to engage your own staff. So when you don't have a budget, life is business is just like every day I just go. It's the grace of Allah, the grace of God that takes us and brings us without having a tool to assess performance. And that's why you must think of budgeting for the business, and it needs to be done in a certain nice way. So a business must budget. So let's see how we can budget as a business. So for each of us with a business, we must budget for our revenue. So the first point of call for your budget will be to budget for your revenue. So we must identify all the various sources of revenue we have, right? And be able to say, how much do you think we can generate from this source of revenue? So let me just pick maybe one source. Hadia, which products are you in? All right. So Ajwa says one of his products is Dawa. And so we are planning for Hajia for the period April to June 2018. Now that we are learning this now in March. So we are doing for April, May, and June. And then we can talk of the total. So Ajia must give us a sense of the quantity of Dawa that can be sold in April, in May, and in June. So Ajia, I'm on you. How much do we think we can sell in April? Whether you sell it in boxes, in packs, or whatever.
We should sell about, let's say that at least we should sell about 50 cartons.
All right. So Aja says April she can sell 50 cartons. So our next question is, what make you think that we can sell 50?
We supply some to shops, then we also give some to people to go around and sell, and then we sell some at the shop.
So Aja says the 50 is not something that she's just assuming, but then there are already a list of customers they have. Shops, some go around to sell, some even come to buy from us. So when she put all together, she can sell 50. So this is where then we can now do the analysis. How many shops, let's say, are there? So for all you know, she now has about 10 shops. You see? So if she has 10 shops, and each shop is even taking about 3 cartons, that will give you 30. So what can Adia do in April to make sure that even this 50 go to 80? So if I have only 10 shops and they pick 3 cartons each, that's giving me 30. Why don't you think of getting about 10 more shops to also join? We put the sales team to work. So we are so far relying on only 10 shops, when there are about 1,000 shops in Tamale. So the sales team, that's where budgeting comes as a planning tool. So what do we do now to increase the customer base? Because we can increase this easily by increase, and that's where marketing comes in. That's when you can now say, I'm the managing director. A big name requiring a big job. It means that Hajia must move from a shop in a V8 and stop in front of my shop. And from the car that she's getting down from, when she opens the door and says, I do in Dawadawa, I want to supply you some, I cannot say no. Because if Dawadawa can make her rate to move from a V8, then me too, I will sell her V8, I will sell her Dawadawa to also buy a V8. That is why you have managing directors sitting in big cars and in Benz. It's not because they want to show off. You need to make a statement that I can sell Dawadawa to buy V8, and you too can sell some. So Hajia can increase her customer base by her appearance. So when you see the bank managers getting out from big cars, it's not because they want to show off. They are making a statement. And that is how you take your business from one level onto, but you do it in a very nice and gradual way. So we assume that we are selling 50. How much are we selling in May, Hajia?
In May, let's take it to about 90.
Okay, so in May, Hajia says we will sell 90 curtains in May, and then in June?
In June, 120.
120, okay. So Hajia is increasing. But Hajia must also have a reason why the increments. What makes up for we can do a 90 in May?
We have identified some shops elsewhere. We'll supply some to Kumasi, Accra, and Tema.
Right. And so that's how come. But is there anything about the weather that also increase how much people eat?
No.
Okay, so it's not a food for, because assuming you are in the water industry, or in the ice cream industry, or in the drink, sometimes based on the weather, people, if it is raining, people want things that are hot. If the weather is hot, at least people want things that are cool. That's what I'm asking. So again, you can use your industry. For example, our friends in the beautician, depending upon Easter or Xmas, or it's season of weddings and engagements, you have more people doing things. Or where churches are doing anniversaries, you have things, so it happens. But so this is the quantity. So in budgeting for revenue, you must budget for the quantities. Then what is the price per carton?
One carton is 240.
All right. So a carton is 240. So we multiply by 240. So please, what is 50 by 240? We can use the calculators on your phone. So that will give you the values. So the first part was the quantities. So in budgeting, you must budget for the quantity and then think of the price and you multiply. So the first one is 12,000. The second one is 90 by 240. How much? 21,600. Okay. Then the last 120 by 240. 28,800. Right. So this becomes our revenue on a monthly basis. So when we say budgeting, we budget. So see, we have sat down. So if in April, Hajia does the 50 boxes, up or low, she can now assess performance. So she can call her team end of April. How come we didn't sell the 50? For all you know, she couldn't even do the 50 because they were not able to produce up to the 50. It means the market exists, but production is not doing their work to give us the amount we are looking for. So budgeting gives you a tool to assess performance and to be on top of the game. Right? And so if at the end of April we don't get 12,000 in our account, apart from the price, even the quantity, because we can even make the 12,000 because we increase the price from 240 to 320. So we can sell less amount to still make the 12,000. So we don't only deal with the figures, but you deal with also production. So it's also possible that the farmers are also not bringing us the required amounts. It means we have capacity to grow, but then we don't even get the raw materials. It means you must move to another town, to Wa or to Boko, to get some people to supply, because those in Tamale are not bringing us the amount. That is when you are managing the director. You are managing a business. We are taking time to look at all the things that affect the business. So this is a revenue aspect. So in the budget, your revenue aspect is key. We must also budget for the expenditure. So this is for only A, Dawa. We would have done the same thing for another product. Sesame. Okay. So that too we'll do it in our way. So we'll do on and on, and when we finish, we can add all, right? Because when we add our Dawa system, it gives you the total in April, total in May, and total in June. That is all about budgeting. So let's now budget for the expenditure. So for the expenses. Again, we are doing it for April, May, and June. So we must